Hi guys, my name is Joey Brancata, and this is
Sky Maciel.
and we're the principal and vice president. We're the president and vice president of the Pre-Health Career Club, and we're happy to meet you guys all. Today's meeting is going to be about the TEAS exams, and then is there anything else you want to mention?
I don't think so. We'll go ahead and get started. We'll have you guys just introduce yourselves, tell us a little bit about yourselves, and then we'll open the floor to some questions. You could also just add any information you'd like to start off with. So you could start in any order. And then we're also going to be recording, so if any of your friends couldn't make it, we'll be posting that in our link tree soon, so you can access it there.
And then the way you'll access the link tree is going to be
Through the Instagram, through our Instagram. So if you guys could go ahead and get started.
Hi guys. Oh, sorry.
Right.
Okay, my name is Sarah. I'm a senior here. I'm in my last year of nursing school. Is there anything further you want us to do?
Yeah, just like say like who you are, what you obviously your nation, but just give us any background info that like just so everyone can read you and have a chance to know who you are.
Okay, cool. I started here at Vanguard my freshman year. So if you guys are trying to get organized in that same boat, yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoy being in the hospital. I want to be a labor and warriors.
Hi guys, I'm Alyssa, but I go by Allie. I've been called by Alyssa since kindergarten. But I was here since my freshman year, so I was also in your guys' shoes. I'm a junior in the program, so it's my first year. And I'm from here. I live in Newport, so.
Hi, I'm Gigi. Basically the same for me. I'm a junior. I'm in my first semester of nursing school. I started here as a freshman, and I'm also like from here. I've grown up here.
And then we can start this off kind of by asking, what would you say, being in the nursing field, what would you say is some things that are like standing out to you, like, or for example, like when you're looking towards your career in being a nurse, what are some things that you have been excited about personally? In any order.
Well, I'm
Okay.
excited to like work with people and like kind of have a hands-on job. For me, I have like a job outside of school. I work at a restaurant where I'm basically a server. I'm like a server's assistant. So I'm working with a bunch of people and I'm working with like all the customers too. And that's kind of what I'm excited to do in nursing, being able to help people and also work with the team. So I think like nursing is like a good fit for me because it's like the hands-on and also like science mathy kind of stuff.
I am just excited to help people. When people ask me like why nursing, when I was younger, my opa, also known as my grandpa, he had a malignant sarcoma on his leg. So when I went to the hospital with him, it was just awesome to see all these like nurses just caring for him, and I wanted to do exactly the same thing. And I just feel like it would be so fun to be able to like help people, but also like work with your peers. And I feel like the medical field in general is just such an important like piece of information to know. I mean, raising your own kids one day, like just having a background.
When I graduate, I would love to do like mission work as a nurse and in that medical field. It's a really cool space because you get to reach people in like a physical way first, and then care for them emotionally, spiritually. And that's actually one thing I've seen in the hospital. A lot of nurses get really caught up with tasks, or even like, all right, I gotta do my meds, I gotta do X, Y, and Z, and they forget about just like basic care. Like when you're putting eye drops in a patient, to like have a tissue and like to be able to clean it up after, or even making sure they have like a toothbrush and toothpaste to be able to brush their teeth in the morning. And even I think in school, it's like we learn a lot of skills, which are super important and things we need to do, but we gotta also remember to just care for them on like a basic human level as well. Yeah, so I'm excited to.
Awesome. And then we can, unless you guys have any first questions, we can start a few questions. Down. Is there anything that you guys want to talk about before we get started? You can also like raise your hand. I'm kind of short, so I can't. I
You guys can ask us anything. Don't be.
We're kind of
wide variety of patients, so that would be cool, but I think I've leaned more towards labor and delivery.
Yeah, I'm interested in labor and delivery or like NICU baby stuff, but I really don't know. I don't really have any family members that are like close to me that work in any of those fields, so I don't have like much knowledge or experience. And me and her, haven't started our clinicals yet, so we don't really know what it's gonna be like. I have volunteered in the ER, and it's a little crazy for my taste, like just like the constant change, the throw up, the this, the that. Like I feel like I maybe want something a little bit more not all across the board, even though there is like throw up in labor and delivery. But I am interested in that. I think once we do our clinical rotations, I'll be able to see what I like and like where I'm called to. But I'm kind of open, but kind of labor and delivery.
We'll be kind of practicing in like a lot of fields, so I think even for you guys, like as nursing students, we'll all be able to get that like feel from every department and
Yeah.
figure it out.
You don't need to know going into it. You can like try everything out.
Yeah, definitely keep an open mind with that. I went into it being like labor and delivery is gonna be nasty. Like there's no way I want to see these babies coming out all the time. And I ended up loving the ER, loving labor and delivery, which that like wasn't even super on my radar going into it. So yeah, keep an open mind, really commit to whatever floor you're on, even if you're like, I don't know if I want to do this, like give it a fair shot.
And is there any specific hospital that you guys are interested in ending up at?
I would love to go to a teaching hospital, which basically they have like a new grad program, and so it just makes like the transition a lot easier, and you're not just like thrown into the fire. Like you have, it's like more classes you take almost for like whatever specialty you go into, and then you'll have a preceptor like kind of following you around for however many weeks. Yeah, so it'll just make the transition a little easier.
Yeah.
I was born at Hogue Newport, so I feel like it would be such a little full circle moment for me to end up there. I also love Hogue in general. They are Presbyterian, so back what you were saying with like in terms of nursing, like being able to reach others on like a Christian level, that's one thing that I would also like love to do. But I think I'll figure out like hospital dynamics through clinical.
Yeah. I don't really know, but I am kind of interested in travel nursing, which that would put me like everywhere, all across everywhere. But I think that would be interesting because it's a great opportunity to travel and like meet new people, go to new places, also like get supported by your job and like try out new things. So I'm kind of drawn to that, but we'll see.
And then, is there any hospital that you guys are interested in not being a part of? Like, is there any hospitals that like sort of bring red flags?
I would say the global hospitals, which I'm blanking on the name. I think it's like what they call it, Lucy Global. I know like the environment is kind of wild, and they also like don't get paid very much either. In the past year, we've gone to like St. Jude, St. Joseph. We've been at Hogue. We've been at Saddleback. Honestly, I feel like from even the people that work there, they really love it. Yeah, honestly, I'm a big like environment, and it's like you want to be an environment where you feel supported and cared about and loved, and not just another trained person. So yeah, I wouldn't want to work at people.
Would you say like the size of the hospital affects that? Like the size, like the amount of staff members affects that? Like what you've seen so far?
Yeah.
But
I would say that could be a factor, but I think a lot of it has to do more with like the hospital's policies,
okay.
and like certain things that they tolerate, don't tolerate, and if like they having like a team-centered environment is important to them. If it is, like you'll notice it, and if it's not, then you'll notice it.
Awesome. And then, is there anything else you guys want to talk about yourselves? All right. Then let's go and get into the nitty-gritty part of this, the TEAS. So, the TEAS is a very difficult exam, and have you guys ever take the TEAS, or did you guys pass your first time? How did that look out for you guys?
I took it once. I got an 81, so I passed. I just wanted to get it over with. I wanted to focus on my other classes wait until you're done with phys because there's a lot of phys on the TEAS. I didn't find that there was a lot of chem because we took chem and microbiome second semester, and so I took the TEAS before I even had phys or micro, and I think
After this.
yes, chem and micro. Phys was important, anatomy was important in terms of sciences, basic bio. Honestly, the only thing I knew in chem was that an acid starts with an H.
Yeah.
And then like I took chem the next semester. So
It's kind of like surface level chem. You'll see if you do any of the practice tests and watch any like chem ATI videos on YouTube, it's like not a lot of chem. And even the chem class that you guys have to take as pre-nursing is very like surface level, very easy. I took it once. I tried to just prepare a lot for it and go into it feeling confident, like I was gonna sit down and not be like, oh my gosh, I'm so nervous to take this right now. And that worked out for me. I took it once. I think I got like an 87, and basically everything she said. I think phys was helpful, and just like reviewing everything. I don't know if there's like questions later about like how we studied, but
Yeah.
I'll save
We'll
that.
have you pick up.
I'll save that later.
Yeah, I took it once as well. I got, oh my gosh, I haven't even thought about the TEAS in so long. I think I got like an 82 or 83. Which I would say if you can, like shoot for the 80s, like, I mean, the better you do, the just better it looks. Honestly, I thought it was gonna be harder than it was. I kind of psyched myself out a little bit. Which I feel like that's something that in nursing school you are expecting it to be really, really difficult, but then once you're really in it, you're like, okay, this is okay, I can do it. And so yeah, don't psych yourself out. I would say definitely like follow your instinct. Go with your first answer, and don't change it unless like you're like, okay, I'm 100% sure it's actually this instead. Because most of the time, if you change your answer, it'll end up being wrong. At least in my experience.
yeah, no, did that yesterday.
Yeah, and I mean, we can even talk about studying while we're on it too.
Yeah. How did you guys study? What did you guys study? And was there any? Just take that question wherever you feel.
Yeah. I got the TEAS book. I did some of the reading in it, but honestly, the practice tests in there were super, super helpful. Once you guys get access to ATI, there's like some practice tests on there as well, which they were like okay, but there's only a couple. Yeah, I would say that the book practice questions were really helpful. I more so than like reading, I like to just watch videos. I'm more of like when I can visualize it, it like sticks a little bit better. So yeah, even just like whatever it talks about in the book, like I like to watch videos on it. Especially the parts of the body that are really specific, it really helps to see it visually.
I think one of the most important things is preparing yourself for the way that ATI will ask their questions. So a lot of, because I know there's a lot of different study brands. There's like Memetrics, ATI. I had like little Memetrics flashcards. I didn't really feel like those helped except for the grammar part. I did everything ATI. I'd say the most helpful thing, and like all of my friends and I would probably agree, were the ATI practice exams. Those cost money, but they helped so much because they really help you prepare for the way that ATI asks questions. And in the program now, literally all of our classes require us to do hours worth of assignments of ATI weekly. So just preparing yourself for the way that ATI asks questions. Practice exams really helped a lot because they just prepare you for that. I think I scored the worst in grammar, which was really interesting. I feel like reading, you can't really prepare for because it's just kind of like comprehension, but like basic math was important, obviously your science knowledge, so like kind of waiting for the end of phys to take it, in my opinion, because there was a lot of phys on it. And then you're ready?
I'm sorry.
Grammar was hard, in my opinion. I think I did hours and hours and hours of examples of grammar, but then again, I'm more of a science brain. So you guys might do great at grammar, so.
Yeah, I think for the grammar, if you're doing practice questions and you're seeing like, oh, I got this wrong, make sure you study why you got it wrong so you don't keep doing that, because like that would come up for me and I'd like be doing practice tests and I come across a similar question and I don't know how to do it because I didn't like know why I got it wrong in the past. But like Ali said, I think questions on the TEAS were like the same. Dare I say, or like just worded a little bit differently, but on the same topics. And I had a Mometrics book, which at first I started trying to read like the entire book, like cover to cover, get all the information in and study it, but that's just way too much, and that's not realistic. So I would kind of take bits and pieces of the book, and then I ended up doing some of the practice tests in Mometrics, like in the book, and that was like a good baseline to see like what don't I know, and then I made a list of all the topics I don't know. So it was like chem, like balancing equations, and then this, and then that, and then like body systems, and then I made my whole list. It was like a whole page long, and then I watched videos and read in my Mometrics book about all those topics, so I learned it. And I think a big thing when it comes to nursing school and like science classes is like learning and not memorizing. So like when you read a question, it's a lot of the time going to be application based and not just a definition that you can just memorize.
It's a lot of critical thinking.
Yeah, so you need to like learn how to like learn what you're reading and retain it. I think like trying to read it slowly or like explain it to a partner, like I would always like study with my friends, that kind of thing is very helpful. So anyways, I would like go through my whole list and like learn everything that I needed to learn on there, review anything that I was like kind of shaky on, and then I would go back and take another practice test after that, and my score would like shoot up after that. And then I'd make another list of like, what do I need to go over again? Like, what else do I need to learn? And I kind of kept doing that with like Mometrics and like random online practice tests. And then I bought the ATI online practice tests, and those were huge. Like, best thing ever. I basically scored the same on those than I did on the test. And I think that's the best way to like simulate taking the TEAS, like sitting down and being on the computer and like having to do it. I would just go in the library for like 4 hours and do it, which is not fun. And like when you think about like, oh, I'm gonna study for the TEAS today, you wanna just like kind of relax and do whatever, but it's really good to make yourself like lock in and treat it like the TEAS, because that's the only way you're gonna get comfortable with taking like a 4-hour test on like that kind of stuff. Oh, really?
I'm a little late, I apologize.
Can you guys hear us, or do we need the mic?
Yeah, do I need to talk louder? Okay, I don't want to. I'm scared of that. I'm gonna keep
It
going.
might help for the recording.
Talk to me
but-
real quick.
Oh,
yeah, but,
okay.
like,
Wait, talk to me real quick.
Hello?
Yeah, that's not good.
How about now?
Hello, hello.
How about now?
Hello, hello, hello.
No.
Hello, hello. Is that better?
Is that good? Alright.
perfect.
So, whoa. So anyways, I would make my whole list and study everything on the list, go back and take my ATI tests. I don't know. I kind of lost my train of thought. My main thing is the ATI online tests. Those are the best thing. And you only get 2 attempts, at least for the package we bought. There was 2 tests. It was A and B, and you get 2 tries on each test, but it's the same exact test. So when you take test A the second time, it's kind of pointless, but I mean, it's still good. I don't know. But, like, make sure you're ready and feel, like, prepared. Like, study to the point of, like, I'm gonna walk in and take the TEAS tomorrow, and then take one of the online ATI practice tests, and then that'll, like, direct you onto what you need to study. And then there's gonna be a whole recap at the end of the test that says you need to study more, like, reading, but specifically, like, comprehension of the main idea, and, like, specific things like that, and you'll get to, like, see what you need to study on more, because it'll have the whole, like, summary. And then do that again with the second practice test, and then take the TEAS. Don't put it off also. Like, once you feel ready, just do it. It's not, like, bad or, like, shameful to take it twice. Like, a lot of people took it twice. A lot of people took it 3 times. Yeah. Get ahead and start studying once you're done with Phys. Maybe start studying now, and then, like, take it once you're done with Phys and just, like, get it out of the way.
I am just a firm believer on using ATI's materials because they created the exam. But it's such a wide range of information on so many topics that I just think it's so hard in general to study for. I think one of the most important things you can do is, like, wake up, eat a good breakfast, prepare yourself for the day, just kind of relieve any stresses, and know that you're gonna be fine. I mean, God has a plan for all of us. But also, like, you can take it again. If you fail it, you practice, you study more, and you can take it again. So.
I would say, honestly, this might be controversial, but I wouldn't say study for it for too long. because then it just becomes like brain overload of so much information that you like feel like you need to know, but then in reality it's like if you feel confident with the stuff in the practice test or the practice questions. I didn't do the ATI practice tests. I just got the TEAS book that had like practice tests in them. So yeah, I think the way to ask the questions is super important. How long did you guys study for it?
I honestly I began in the summer, so I began in probably the whole month of July. I went through the whole book. It's kind of crazy. It's like a thick book. Unnecessary, to be honest. If I could have gone back, I would have not taken the whole summer because I didn't really retain that because I took my exam in November, I think first week of November, end of October. So the practice test obviously helped the most. I think we all kind of got that, unless, I mean, you didn't do the practice test. So, I mean, everyone's different. I scored worse on the practice test. I got in the 70s on the practice test. Also, don't beat yourself up. If you score in the 70s your first attempt, there's a lot of people in our cohort who got 70s and stopped there. So, don't beat yourself up. We're all on a different path.
It's most important that you pass it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I studied for 10 days. So it's like, it's really, yeah, I think locking in is important. Do what you gotta do, and then give your mind a break. Like, only do a couple days an hour. I mean, a couple hours a day. Yeah, I studied for 10 days for about an hour and a half, 2 hours each day. And I did worse on the practice tests that I did. Yeah.
I also felt, there you go. When I would study in the library, I was mainly focusing on the courses that I was taking currently. So for example, phys, I would study hours of phys and I would really retain that knowledge because it was what I was gonna be tested on the next week. And retaining that knowledge really helped me on the phys and sciences category on the TEAS. And then if I had extra time, I would just kind of like go through flashcards. There's even like an ATI app that you can buy, and it just gives you kind of like examples also how the practice test would. That helped. I would just be like nannying, and like the kids would go to bed, and I'd just kind of flip through that. So it's kind of, it's a good thing when you have that extra time to put time into it. But if you don't have that extra time, don't stress yourself out and just kind of focus on the courses that you're in now, because that's also going to help you for the TEAS.
I have two things. I studied probably like really intensely for 1 month, I would say. And I mean, it all depends on like how you learn best. If you think you need a lot of time to retain it, like maybe start now, dip your toe in the water, like start covering some topics. But if you work better like under pressure and like cramming like we do, then do that if you know that that works. But my second thing is, this is kind of related to the TEAS and also kind of related just to like science classes. But when I had to memorize a lot of stuff, I would print out the paper that I needed to learn, and I'd tape it onto the outside of my shower, which was like a glass like shower, which if you have a shower curtain, you could do a sheet protector, which we're gonna do in our, yeah. So then, I mean, don't spend more time in the shower than you need, like don't waste water, but when you're in the shower, just look at the diagrams, and it's repetition, like, and it's like not forcing you to go out of your way like every single time you're going to bed to like open your binder or whatever. Like, you just go into the shower and you're looking at like all the different parts of the brain, and you're like, oh, and you can kind of quiz yourself and like get to see it over and over. That really helped me. Like that helped me in anatomy lab, and then just like everything for the TEAS. I don't know. I think that's really helpful if you want to try it.
You could even do it like while you're getting ready or something. But also like, if the shower is your zone to just kind of relax and not study, you do it. But like, there's so many different ways to like just incorporate small things. But if you there's so much information for the TEAS that